Game Changers, we are back. We are getting into the NFL 2023 season. My boys Matt and Nick are back. We are going to get into the divisions and the conferences and where we think the teams stack up in each division. Before we move on, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, continue to follow the page. We give God the glory in every video that we do. And guys, we're excited. If you haven't seen the page yet, this is your first time watching. We went through a ton of videos, NFL videos last year. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video. You will see a playlist pop up of NFL predictions, and we hope you enjoy it. We're going to get into a lot of fantasy football this year as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we're just going to trash on Nick because he did terrible last year with his pick. So, all right, guys, we're going to get into it. We're going to get rocking and rolling. First up is the NFC North. Again, we're predicting where the teams will end up this season by the end of the season going into the playoffs. For me, I got the Vikings winning that division, the NFC North. Right underneath them is going to be the Lions. I think those two are going to be battling all year. And then I got the Bears coming in third, and then I have the Packers coming in last. And it's kind of wild because we're used to seeing the Packers up the top, but them losing Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be a huge blow to the Packers. So I think they drop all the way down. So they're saying their defense is pretty good, but I don't know. Well, there's a lot of big changes. So, and for me, the Vikings, the reason why I picked the Vikings to win is because consistency. They didn't really lose many players. They lost a couple key pieces on defense, but I think Kirk Cousins still has a little bit left in the tank. And then they also have Justin Jefferson. And then, so I think we'll be fine. Losing Dalvin Cook, too. It's a little bit of a blow, but when Madison came into the games, he was pretty good. So, Nick, what do you think?
I'm along the same lines. I think the Vikings are going to win the division, although I will say I do think the Lions are going to make like a big run for it. I think those are like the top two teams in the division for obvious reasons, but I just feel like the Vikings have more to go with them. Plus, you look at like, I don't know if any of you know this, but Kirk Cousins actually said, hey, I know my job is on the line this year. I have to perform because I'm on a one-year deal right now. I have to, if I don't perform, then I could either be another team or I just might not be in the league anymore. So I definitely think he's going to show out this season, especially with the weapons that he has. With the acquisition of Addison that they got in the draft, and they got TJ Hawkinson from last year. I think their offense is like really improving. And plus, if you look at their games last year, a lot of the games were really exciting. So, like the Bills game and all their comeback wins. So, I would give it to the Vikings for the division.
Yeah, my only portion of being nervous about picking the Vikings is that, again, like what you just said, a lot of the games are one-score games. So, can they do it again? Can they have that miraculous run again? That might be tough. So, Matt, what do you think about it?
Pretty similar. I got Minnesota as well, taking this division. This one's hard to call just because there's so many variables, a lot of unknowns. You have Jordan Love coming into his first year. Fields has shown flashes with the Bears, but they also lost a lot of games last year, so it's tough to call with them. The Lions, you have a great offense last year, but they gave up I don't know how many points per game. They were probably a bottom 5 defense in terms of points per game. And then, Vikings fairly consistent. They have lost a couple people. I think Patrick Peterson is another big loss for them. Just like a veteran presence in the locker room, being on defense on that side. But yeah, it's just, honestly, this one's kind of up in the air for me. But I'll go Minnesota overall as like a preseason prediction.
So we're all in agreement, and I think we all agree that it's going to be Detroit and Minnesota at the top, which is crazy to think. I just saw a stat today that Detroit in the past 20 years has never won the division. That's wild.
Never.
Wow. No, I'm thinking of Barry Sanders, but I guess that was previous of 20 years. That's wild.
Wow.
So we're getting old, man. We're getting old.
Wow.
All right, we're getting into the NFC South. My boy Matt is going to take this one.
So NFC South, might as well. Just try to look at some rankings here. So just looking at these 4 teams, there's no experience here really. At least at the quarterback position, you got Desmond Ridder, who's, he played some games last year, but with the Panthers, Bryce Young, a rookie quarterback, brand new to the NFL, those are always wild cards. You never know what these rookies are going to look like. The Bucs, you lose the greatest quarterback of all time. Now you're looking at Mayfield is the starter, first overall pick 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then that's just the quarterback situation for the Saints. Derek Carr, easily the most experienced QB in the division. Defensively, like on that side of the ball, it's tough to tell, honestly. Again, the Saints probably have the best defense, especially on paper. Some of their bigger names, you have DeMario Davis, you have Marshawn Lattimore. Cameron Jordan's been there for over a decade now, so they just have that's one veteran of at least 5 or 6 years at each of the 3 levels on defense. So just kind of looking at this, I'd say the Saints to win this division overall. Second, It's hard to tell. I do like
They're all
Carolina's.
bad.
Yeah, I do like Carolina's defense. Honestly, they have like some young stars. You know, they have J.C. Horn, they have Brian Burns. They have just some like bigger names, some younger players that have just made a lot of plays. But I'll go Panthers in second, Falcons third, and then Bucks probably in fourth.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Again, that one's also really up in the air, but that's probably how I would rank it within those teams.
It's a tough one too. We live in Tampa, so that's tough. So.
Yeah,
Nick, what do you got?
it's hard to say.
I think the division is the Saints for the taking. I really think like they will, because last year I believe the Bucks won that division with a losing record.
Yeah.
So it's like I definitely think that will that won't be the Saints next year. I think they'll definitely have a winning record coming out. I think they very high chance of going 6-0 in that division with the way of how bad those teams are. So that's at least 6 wins right there. And then if you get like 3 more wins against any of the other teams, right there you already have 9, which is a winning record. So I cannot see the Saints losing that division. That would be the shocker of the year in the NFL if that was the case. Yeah. Second, I'd probably give it to the Panthers alone, like what you said with like the defense, and plus Bryce Young. It's like he's a rookie, but saw what he did in college. If he puts that in the NFL, then he'll be good. Last place, sorry Tampa, but I have to go with the Bucks last, because I really think the Falcons with their offense, with obviously Bijan there, and then Kyle Pitts and Drake London, I definitely think they're going to be respectable at least to get them some wins. So yeah, that's the way I see it, is Saints first, Panthers second, Falcons third, Bucks fourth.
Nice. There's not much more to add. I agree with these guys. We all have Bucks in the basement, and we have the Saints winning that division. I think this is one of the easiest picks out of all the divisions, because the Saints, what were they lacking last year was a quarterback, and they go in to get Derek Carr, who is a pretty good quarterback, but now he just needed new scenery, and he's got it with the Saints. So I'm excited to see what happens there. All right, we're going to get into the NFC West, and my boy Nick is going to take this one. Nick, who do you got? If you need the cheat sheet.
Let's get the cheat sheet.
This guy, look at this guy.
Yeah. So for the AFC West,
NFC West.
NFC.
He needs the cheat sheet.
Right, I'll take the cheat sheet.
NFC.
NFC. Okay. All right. So, all right, I see him. Yeah. I'll go with the Niners for the first winning the division. I think they're just a complete team, and then like basically the only thing that's really lacking is Brock Purdy. But it's like, I mean, he still does what he does. Yeah. It's like he plays well into that system. That's really all you have to do to be successful. You don't have to like show out or anything. As long as you play enough to get the wins, that's really all you need. Yep. So I think they're great on both sides of the ball. I would give them the first. Second, I would give it to the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, I don't know if they would make a playoff spot. I mean, there is a shot, but I would definitely think out of those teams, they would come in second. Their offense has gotten better. Their defense is still the same, so I would give them second. And then third, have to go with the Rams, Cooper Kupp. Oh, man, what is going on with him? But the reason why I have to give the Rams third is because by default, I have to give last to the Cardinals because they are just, they're tanking for Caleb Williams at this point.
Yeah. They got Josh, is it Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs,
They got Josh Dobbs starting. They picked him up last week. Crazy. QB1, look out, fantasy. Pick him up.
Yeah. Hey, he didn't do that bad against the Jaguars when he played with the Titans. So.
Yeah, but he's bad, and so are the Cardinals, so.
Yeah.
Nah, who you got?
It's pretty similar order, honestly. The Cardinals on paper look atrocious. Part of me wants to say, like, maybe there's a chance they have a miracle Cinderella run. It was only like 2 or 3 years ago they started this. They were the #1 team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They started off like 7-0, then they lost on, I think it was like Thursday night to the Green Bay, and then their season kind of tanked.
Yeah.
The Rams also 2 years ago as well. They just won the Super Bowl, and they had a great defense, and now things have just kind of fallen off. You lose Bobby Wagner. I don't know what happened there. They signed him like a 5-year deal. He plays 1 year and then leaves, goes right back to Seattle. So
it's crazy.
I don't quite understand that. But I think that's a huge loss, honestly, for them. He'll be in the Hall of Fame like when it's all said and done. So that's a big loss. But on top of that, you lose Ramsey as well. You still have Donald. He's in his 30s now. So the Rams, it's hard to tell. Also on their offense, with Stafford being hurt last year, Kupp starting the year hurt. Running back situation is always kind of shaky with them, with the whole Cam Akers drama a year ago. We don't know who's ultimately by the end of the year going to be their starter. So I'd probably put those 2 teams on the bottom just like you had. So probably Cardinals at 4, Rams at 3, which leaves the other 2 teams. And, they both, I think the Seahawks make the playoffs last year?
They did.
They did. So, both of them were in the playoffs. So I mean, yeah, Seattle again. Like Geno Smith's kind of like a comeback. Probably could have been like not comeback player of the year, but probably like surprise of the year. I mean, yeah, like no one ever saw him throwing for like 4,000 yards after just he was a bust up until last year, honestly. And yeah, they have some good pieces in place. They have like one of the best trios of receivers in the NFL. They have really good young running backs between Charbonnet, is how you say that, Kenneth Walker. Defense, you have a couple of good pieces as well. Very good duo of corners that are young. They just drafted one this past year, first round. You have Tariq Woolen as well, who played at like an All-Pro level. Just probably didn't get quite as much hype as Sauce Gardner did. But yeah, I'd probably put them in second. And then it's hard to pick against the Niners just because that defense, again, like they're everyone's flying to the ball. Fred Warner's probably the best linebacker in the NFL. Nick Bosa, they just signed today to like a 5-year extension, so hopefully that plays out well for him. Another Ohio State player. And then, in the secondary as well, you got Hufanga, who's just flying all over the field. He looks good.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, and then, offense, Kittle, McCaffrey. The quarterback is still kind of up in the air for me. I don't, trust QBs. I haven't, seen enough, proven quite yet.
Yeah.
So I don't really believe in Purdy. I had high hopes for Lance, honestly, but, he's already gone. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Trey Lance.
But...
With the Cowboys now.
Yeah, he's in Dallas, so whenever Dak messes up, there you go. But
look out.
Probably Niners for this division.
I like it. This division, I have the same exact as these guys. But the couple notes that I wanted to mention is the quarterback's going to be interesting in this division because Geno Smith, I just don't think he's that good. And I think last year was just a surprise, but he has no excuse. So I think he's got a lot of pressure on him because he, like Matt said, he's got the best trio, in my opinion, in the NFL of wide receivers. Brock Purdy, he gets a lot of hate, but I actually think he balled out last year. But again, he's got pressure because he had nothing to lose last year, but now this year, he's really got to prove himself. And then Matt Stafford is a proven quarterback. So if Cooper Kupp can come back and be healthy, they might actually sneak up in this division. But again, I agree with these guys, and I'm going with what they have. All right, we're getting into the NFC East. I think this division has the best team in the NFC in it. And it's not that big of a shocker. They were in the Super Bowl last year. I think they actually got better in the offseason, which is wild. Don't know how he keeps doing it. But for me, the division goes Eagles on top, Cowboys in second, Giants in third, Commanders in fourth. Now, I do want to point out that the Cowboys and Giants could flip-flop. The Giants are on the rise. The Cowboys, I think, are declining. And there's stories coming out from camp. First off, why did they pick up Trey Lance? I think there's a lot of... And then I heard a story in camp where the defense is just getting on Dak Prescott. So I think he's losing the locker room. And I think that's one of the reasons why they brought in Trey Lance. You can get him for a 4th-round pick, and if your team starts tanking halfway through the year, see what Trey Lance has. And that might be one of the biggest shockers of the NFL season this upcoming season. So, Nick, what do you got?
So
don't say Giants win the division.
The Giants are winning the division.
I'm stealing his thunder right now.
All right, so for first, I have to give it to the Eagles because why would you not? Mm-hmm. They just came off of a Super Bowl appearance, and they were so close to winning it. Yep. That was a really close game. So I would say them first. 2, I actually have the Giants for all the reasons that you said. Is like there's a lot of things going on right now with the Cowboys, and it's just. I don't know what exactly is going on in terms of the behind the scenes stuff. I wish they were in Hard Knocks instead of the Jets so that we could definitely see what was going on there.
AFC, NFC.
Yeah, exactly. And then 4th, Commanders. I do think Sam Howell will definitely not be bad. I think he'll be enough to where they can be respectable and then he could be the quarterback of the future for that team. But I would not be shocked if the Cowboys started losing and they start imploding, and then Jerry Jones is like, "All right, Trey, let's see what you can do," and then he just ships Dak Prescott somewhere else.
There you go. What did we say? What's your joke? Oakland? Shipping to
Oakland.
Yeah, he's going to Oakland. Look out, team's coming back.
Back in the Mad days. One guy messes up, I used to trade him to the Raiders.
There you go. I love it.
Even if it was my fault. But
who you got in this division?
I guess my side note here is I think if any of these teams were in a tougher division, they're not winning it. But I don't know. Philly's probably the best team here. You're right. They got better on paper at least. You added some pretty big names, honestly, in the offseason. Yeah. So the Eagles, it's probably still their division to lose, honestly. There's no reason they shouldn't win this division. I do like the addition of Stephon Gilmore with Dallas. I think that's a pretty good duo of corners. Trayvon Diggs, I thought was extremely overrated 2 years ago when when he had 11 picks.
Yeah, he couldn't guard it. Yeah.
But last year he was actually pretty good last year. You still have Micah Parsons, who's probably one of the best young defenders in the NFL. So they have some stars. You lose Elliott, one of your kind of franchise cornerstones in a way, but he was already kind of on the decline. So probably Dallas finishing in second. The Giants have some pieces in place as well. You re-signed Daniel Jones to, I think he got like a 3-year deal, something like that.
Too much money.
Yeah, probably too much money.
As a Giants fan, I agree.
Yeah, probably could have paid Saquon that money as well. Receivers are always kind of up in the air with the Giants, especially the last couple of years. Ever since Odell's been gone, there's never been a clear number one guy there. Yeah. You got Waller. I hope he does well. Former Raven, former Raider. He's a pretty good comeback story.
Yeah. So
I hope he has a good season. But I probably have the Giants finishing in third in that division, and then the Commanders. It's primarily just because there's so many question marks. Like you don't know who's. Terry McLaurin's hurt to start the year off. That's probably the best player on offense. Sam Howell's not a rookie, but he didn't play much last year. We don't really know what he's capable of, which could be good or bad. You never quite know.
It's like a Mahomes story.
Yeah,
he came in right at the end, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. I'm not.
It's gonna be hard to it's hard to compare those two.
Just imagine he wins the divition. That would be
if he wins the division, then we can compare him to Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly. Yeah, if he comes in and throws 50 TDs and gets MVP first full season.
What is happening?
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's the Eagles.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So not the same.
Again, guys, there is no controversy going on. We're just all that smart, so we're just making the whole same thing. But listen, in my opinion, the Eagles, we talked about the big names, but also in the rookie draft, I don't know. First off, how Carter dropped to them, and then Nolan Smith all the way back at 31 is just insane. So I think Howie's got a little side gig going on with what's the cat's name? Roger Goodell.
Goodell?
Yeah.
Goodell.
If he has any, if he hasn't, how much did he make?
$44 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's probably more now, but who knows?
It's crazy. So, all right, guys, that is the NFC. That is our picks in the NFC. Now we are moving over to the AFC, and we're going to start in the AFC North. My boy Matt is going to take it off. Go ahead.
This is a really competitive division. I think every team in this division could have a winning record by the end of the year. Like Kenny Pickett has a ton of hype on him. Like the Pickett to Pickens combo, a lot of people are hyping that up. I don't quite believe in it yet. I like to see proof first before I just kind of crown someone a star or anything 100%. Like that. But yeah, they have a lot of good pieces there. You have T.J. Watt, you have Minka in the secondary. Cam Hayward is still there. Some decent, you draft Joey Porter Jr. So yeah, they have a pretty good team. Their defense has always been solid. They're notorious for being good. Pittsburgh and Cleveland are probably in the bottom of the division the way I see it. The Browns, same thing. They have a lot of potential there. You have Deshaun Watson. Amari Cooper is still one of the best route runners in the NFL. He was very productive last year. I don't think many people saw that coming.
Yeah, it's great.
And Njoku he could pop off this year as well. Honestly, I think they just inked him to a pretty big deal. Then on defense, you still have some pretty good players on defense. They lost. I think they had Clowney last year. He's now with Baltimore now. Funny enough. But he wasn't the star. It's Myles Garrett, it's Denzel Ward. They have some other a couple of good names out there as well. But I'll go Pittsburgh 4, Cleveland 3. Everyone's always on the Bengals. Bengals, I don't know what it is. I still don't quite believe them yet.
You love the Ravens. That's
I guess I'm kind of biased. I just still haven't quite seen it yet. I think Joe Burrow is 2-6 against Lamar Jackson in his career.
Wow.
So I know that. He's he can beat Tyler Huntley. He threw for 400, 500 yards against our fourth, fifth, and sixth string corners. That one game that he had, and then last year, honestly, if we had Lamar, I think we would have destroyed the Bengals. There's literally just a one play where Huntley tried to jump over the goal line. The Bengals returned it for a TD. I think Cincinnati doesn't even. They don't advance in that next round without that one play. His defense kind of carried him there. So I got Bengals at second. They have some good pieces as well. If Mixon can stay healthy at running back, I think there's some potential there. Jamar Chase, obviously, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. All three of those, that's a really good combo at the receiver. Another really good trio for them. But yeah, ultimately I got to go Baltimore here because just some of the big names. We did lose Marcus Peters at corner. We still have Humphrey, who's still one of the best corners in the NFL. Roquan Smith, we just signed him. I'm really excited about keeping him in Baltimore for 5 years because Ravens have always just been notorious for having, it's typically an elite middle linebacker and then an elite someone in the secondary, whether safety, corner, whatever it is. But when you go back to Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, now you got Roquan Smith, who's kind of been passed the torch. He's the leader of the defense now. He's switching. I think he switched to number 0 this year. So I kind of see him as possible dark horse for a defensive player of the year sort of candidate because he was really good last year. And again, our safety duo, Kyle Hamilton ended up being the highest graded safety last year as a rookie out of Notre Dame. Marcus Williams was hurt for a little while, but I think we have one of the best secondaries, if not the best, maybe in the NFL. So a lot of pieces in place. Then on offense, hoping everyone can stay healthy.
JK, baby.
Yeah, if you keep Dobbins in there, if he can stay healthy, if Lamar can stay healthy, there's a lot of potential there. You got Gus as well in the backfield. You have adding Odell Beckham. I honestly hope he does great in Baltimore. I know a lot of people are doubting him, so I think this would be a nice way for him to kind of like shut haters up and just prove everyone wrong. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Then yeah, I think the trio of receivers though too. You got Bateman, you have Flowers, and you have Odell Beckham. We have a couple other guys behind on the depth chart that could have some potential as well, but it's hard to pick against Baltimore in my opinion. So I got them at the top of the division.
I love it, the passion. Matt coming in with the passion. I love it. Nick, what do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to start off the first disagreement of the video.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Bengals.
This cat loves the Bengals. Go back 2 years, and he is in love with the Bengals.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, the Joe Burrow in our Dynasty League is my quarterback. So he is my quarterback, and I picked him to go to the Super Bowl 2 years ago before the playoffs started, and I got to ride high on him. That's like the way. Boy. Oh, yeah, it's my boy. It's like you mentioned that Joe Burrow has a losing record against Lamar. That's true. But how crazy is this? Joe Burrow has a winning record against Mahomes, though. Mahomes, yeah, that's an insane flip flop right there. Because I'm pretty sure Mahomes has beaten Lamar more in his career, so it's like that's like a circle right there. That's insane.
It's a triangle, bro. 3.
All right, triangle. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do either way.
He didn't pass first grade, but
no, I did not.
Still working.
He's still working.
Might have to study for my exam upstairs. So,
timetables.
Yep.
We got Billy Madison in the middle, guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got Bengals winning the division because I found this out was ever since Joe Burrow's rookie year, obviously they didn't go anywhere, he had the torn ACL, but since then they've been to an AFC championship game every time.
Yeah.
That shows how insane they are with the pieces of the puzzles that they all have and stuff.
Yeah.
Second, I go with the Ravens because they did get some pieces. They are great on defense, and the reason why I don't have them winning the division is because sure, Lamar has all those weapons, but I'm just going to wait out and see what he does with those weapons. It's like, obviously, we know what Mark Andrews can do, but what can he, we've seen what he can do with Rashad Bateman. What about OBJ? What about Zay Flowers? How are they going to pan out? So I'm curious to see how they do.
Yeah.
It's a tough one for third and fourth with the Browns and the Steelers.
Yeah.
For now, I would go probably Steelers, and the reason being is because Mike Tomlin coaches his guys
great coach.
He's a great coach, and it'll be interesting because correct me if I'm wrong, but ever since he's been the coach, they have not had a losing season. Yeah. Now this is the division though where it possibly could happen. Yeah, it's with all the good teams in that division, he might have a losing record for the first time. It would not shock me at all. Yeah. But for now, I would say I would give him third, and then I would go Browns fourth. And the reason being is because I don't know how Deshaun Watson's going to do. He did have a not so good preseason. Yeah. So I mean, he does have all the weapons. He certainly does, but it all comes down to how the quarterback's going to do. So that's what I say.
This is crazy. Me and Nick actually agree. It's wild. We normally don't agree on a lot of things. I shouldn't say a lot of things. On football things, we don't agree. So, but I agree with Nick here. I do have Bengals on top. I'm just being as unbiased as possible because I do not like Joe Burrow, but I'm still picking the Bengals on top. I just think that team has all the pieces that they need, and they have a quarterback that has won playoff games and things of that nature, and has shown that he can get to the Super Bowl. So, sorry, man, not taking shots at Lamar, but
hey, you just agreed with the guy who hasn't passed the first grade. So, I mean, what does that say?
We're in trouble. We're in trouble. So, all right, we're gonna move down to the AFC South. I got these guys again. It's funny because both South divisions, I should say, are pretty weak in the NFL this year. But this division has a team that I think is going to clearly win the division, and that's the Jaguars. They continually get better. Trevor Lawrence was leaps and bounds better last year, and I think he's going to continue to climb. He's got an actual coach now that can coach him. So I think they're going to win the division pretty easily. They add Calvin Ridley, who they said just looks amazing in camp. So if he's back to his old self, look out. That's just another weapon. I've always been a Travis Etienne guy. I think he's going to ball out. I think he just is going to continue to get better. So the scary thing about the team, too, is they're pretty young. So they're young and good. So look out. They're going to continue to compete with the top dogs in the AFC. Second, I have the Titans. They're always consistent. Mike Vrabel always brings a nice team out. But I do think they are on the decline. Tannehill, I think, is on his last legs. They had to bring in D-Hop because Treylon Burks, I think they just bombed on that pick. Cat had asthma. They brought in a dude who's got asthma. Not a good thing for a professional. Yeah, not good. So yeah, this guy, they're trying to have him run flies, and he needs not piss.
Pretty heavy.
What is it called?
What?
Inhaler. That's what it is.
Inhaler.
He needs the oxygen. Yeah. So then this might be a surprise, but then I have the Texans, and the reason why is because the Colts are just imploding. Jim Irsay is just opening his mouth, and the team is just imploding. You lose a cornerstone in Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's going to play all year, to be honest. There's just a lot of drama going on. Anthony Richardson, a lot of people are high on him. I am not. He threw for like 50% in college, and Florida just was not good. But to be unbiased and transparent, I like him as a player and as a person, but I just don't think it's going to correlate in the NFL. So I got the Texans finishing above them, and I have Colts in the basement. So Nick, what do you got?
First, got to go with the Jags because what they did last year with the game against the Chargers, that was a huge comeback win by them. So I can definitely see the Jaguars doing really good this year. Tennessee, I would say second because even though they're not really big on their quarterback play, they still have some good pieces and stuff. And plus they signed D-Hop, Derrick Henry as well. Yeah, can't forget about him.
That might be the oldest team in the league in positions that are. What am I trying to say?
Like skill?
Yeah, skill.
Yeah.
Think about it. D-Hop is old. Henry is old.
Henry's 29.
Tannehill's old.
Yeah.
So they're the old heads. We'll see what happens. Let's see if they can make it through the season.
Yeah.
Sorry to pitch it off.
No, you're fine. So third, I have to give it to the Colts because I don't think they're going to be riding high with the wins, but I do think they're going to get some wins enough to where they wouldn't be down in last. Mm-hmm. And then for the Texans, we'll see how C.J. Stroud does. I definitely think they're improving on their defense, especially with the Will Anderson pick. I think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. So we'll see how he does with that.
Hopping ahead.
Tease. So that's where I go. I go Jags 1, Titans 2, Colts 3, and then Texans 4.
I like it. A lot of haters with the Texans. I'm a believer. I like C.J. Stroud. I think he's going to ball. Yeah. Matt, what do you got?
Pretty similar. It's hard to have a lot of confidence in any of these teams, unfortunately. So that's kind of why I think all three of us are kind of riding whichever team has given us the most reason to kind of believe in them. Colts have been an absolute train wreck the last 3 years, especially at QB. They bring in 3 straight veterans, between Rivers, Wentz, and then Matt Ryan, and it kind of ends up being a failure each time. So ever since Andrew Luck left, once he retired, they just haven't really gotten it together at the quarterback position. So hopefully Richardson's able to do well for them. But yeah, I probably have them in fourth. I have the Texans ahead of them. I think the Texans can hopefully. They have some really good young pieces as well.
Yeah.
These are, you never know. The Colts and Texans are they're pretty similar to me.
I agree.
The Texans, I think they had the 3rd overall pick 2 years in a row. They took Stingley last year at the LSU corner, so there's a chance maybe he turns up for them. Who knows? Becomes a big part of their defense. You got Will Anderson, so they have some talent on that defense. On offense, it's a lot of young players. I think Davis Mills' experiment just didn't quite work out. Yeah. It sounds like they're giving the reins to Stroud to start off the year, so kind of see what he does. Not any big names on the offense, you got Dameon Pierce, you have Nico Collins, first string receiver,
wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he lose.
They got Bobby Trees too.
Robert Woods is with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bobby Trees.
Yeah, that's a good veteran. He's a good veteran presence.
Yep.
I don't remember if he won a Super Bowl or not. I don't know if he was with the Rams that year.
I don't think he was. No, he was with Jared Goff.
Yeah,
he was with Goff.
But he was with the Rams that 1 year that they were putting up crazy numbers and they had Gurley and everything. So it's an experienced veteran. So yeah, to me it comes on again, just like you guys have said, Titans and Jags. I could see Henry running for 2,000 yards this year again. Honestly, I just think again a lot of people were doubting him for whatever reason, and
he proves me wrong.
I have no reason to not think this guy is gonna just take over their entire offense. I hope Hopkins is able to take some eyes off of him, so teams can't just stack the box with 8 the way they used to do when Adrian Peterson was on the Vikings. But yeah, Jacksonville overall probably looks the best as of now. They had a surprisingly good defense last year. They just kind of had flashes. They had some games where they would give up 1,000,000 points, but then, I mean, yeah, they're just coming back and from down 27-0 last year against the Chargers.
Crazy.
It says something, just able to flip that switch, turn the entire game around. Lawrence is a great young quarterback.
Yeah.
ETN's got potential. Evan Ingram looks like he can catch the ball finally.
Yeah.
He woke up.
What took you so long?
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, if Ridley turns in what everyone is saying he's going to do, then yeah, they're going to be a problem. So about the same. Yeah.
You're not too high on the Jags, are you?
I used to
remember from last year.
Yeah, I think last. I don't remember. I'm not like terribly high on them. I think like maybe 10 wins would take that division.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think
so
it needs much.
I think they could get it, but yeah, it's hard to tell.
100%.
Actually, 8 or 9, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the South divisions are not that good. I forgot to mention too that the AFC North. I know we're going back, but it's arguably one of the best divisions. I think it's between that and the AFC East of the best division in football. So that's gonna be a fun one to watch. All right, my man Nick is getting into the AFC West. My man was jumping the gun. Now we're getting into the AFC West. Nick, who do you got?
All right, so AFC West, it's crazy because last year when we made the predictions, we said that was going to be the best division in football, and like it wasn't really. It was just like so many disappointments here.
Who'd you pick last year?
Last year I picked the Chargers.
And who'd you pick last year?
I probably was on Los Angeles as well.
And go back to the video. I picked the Chiefs. Just saying. Go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah. So for this one, like
check the tape.
All right, so for this one, my number one got to be the Broncos because look at what they're doing, and it's that they got Mahomes. No, they don't have Mahomes. No, I'm going with the Chiefs. They have Mahomes. Whoever team has Mahomes, I'm going.
I was about to fire him on camera. Like, all right, time to go.
Yep. So the Chiefs, Mahomes. It's like every year he just and it's crazy because. I think they said last year was like kind of the rebuild mode ever since they lost Tyreek Hill. And what happened? They won a Super Bowl on a
There's no rebuild mode.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter what he loses and who he gets. He just makes everybody better.
Yeah.
So I give the first place to the Chiefs. And then second one, I have to go with the Chargers. I definitely think last year was like so many things, like everything that could go wrong did go wrong for them. It's like Mahomes. No, dang, I like Mahomes. So Herbert got hurt. The ribs. Yeah, when he got hit in the ribs, he just wasn't the same after that. Yeah. And Keenan Allen got hurt. Mike Williams got hurt. Like they had to go to Josh Palmer and all these other third string guys. That's how not good they were. But they still made it to where like they finished second, I believe, last year. So. They'll definitely get better, especially with the addition of Quentin Johnston. I think that was a great pickup by them. And then what they got on defense as well. So I think they're going to be second. Third, it's tough between the Raiders and the Broncos because they have a lot going for them right now. Yeah. So but this one, it's tough, but I'm going to say Broncos. And the reason being is because I definitely think they're going to get better with Sean Payton coaching there.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade.
I definitely think that's going to be huge where, like, because could Russell Wilson really play worse than he did last year? It's like
it only goes up. Yeah,
if he plays worse this year, I definitely think Sean Payton's going to be like, okay, we're moving on by because that was just awful last year. It's like so many people were high on the Broncos last year. They had them pick and win in the division last year. It was so bad. So they were like the most disappointing team of last year. But I definitely think they have to be better this year, especially with Sean Payton being there. I definitely think he brings a new dynamic to the team. Yeah. And then fourth, I give it to the Raiders because I don't know how Jimmy G is going to be filling into that system of play. I mean, we're hearing from the Raiders team that they love Jimmy G, so we'll see if that can get into the game where. Devontae Adams is still there, which like he wasn't very happy that they got rid of Derek Carr because Devontae Adams is like that's the reason why I went there, and now I have Jimmy G. Let's see what'll happen. Yeah. And plus, Josh Jacobs, who led the league in rushing last year. Yeah. So I definitely So I definitely think the Raiders. They had a lot going for them last year. I don't know if they'll be able to repeat that this year, so I put them at fourth.
Gotcha. Matt, what do you got?
Pretty similar to that as well, I think. I might have the exact same order, actually. Just to touch on the Chiefs, Mahomes is throwing a bunch of stiffs at receiver. Like no one's proven themselves. He's got Kelsey. Kelsey like doesn't even. I don't even know what it is. Like if you watch Kelsey play, like he's just
open.
Yeah, he just has great spatial awareness.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the most talented tight end, but he's a savvy veteran, and just when he runs his routes, it just looks like when you watch him back on film, he just runs them so slow, and he's still getting open. He knows how to position his body, where to go, and everything. So that's not having that come with week 1 might be a problem for them. I don't know how severe this injury is with him, but I think the Chris Jones holdout is also pretty significant for the Chiefs defense. That's probably that might be their best defensive player. You got like Nick Bolton in the middle.
Nick Bolton, baby.
Scored a TD in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
So
sir.
you got some potential. The Chiefs, I don't know, they can give up a lot of points, but also I think Spagnuolo is still coaching their defense, so they have some veteran names. I'll still pick them. It's hard to go against them, honestly. And then probably in second, I will go with I'll probably go with the Chargers there as well. I could see Herbert throwing for 5,000 yards this year. As long as they can just put it together, it just seems like they can't close games. They can't quite finish games. They've got a lot of close ones.
Kellen Moore's there now too, right?
Is Kellen Moore the QB coach, I think?
I think so.
Yeah.
He might even be the offensive coordinator.
Either way, I
something
think he's
like
the
that.
OC. Yeah.
But yeah, if he's able to help them out, he did pretty well in Dallas. He was able to he was kind of a disappointment when he actually played in the NFL, but he's ends up being a better coach. So there's that.
Yeah.
Same with Broncos. Just shouting out Sean Payton. I hope he helps their offense if he's able to kind of boost them or get them back on track. Because there's a lot of potential there between Judy, Javonte Williams. You got Cortland Sutton, Russell Wilson, a Hall of Fame quarterback probably, and a defense that has some young stars as well. You got Surtain, another really good young corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
And who's left? Raiders.
So,
yeah.
Can't even remember them.
Yeah, it's hard.
Not good.
It's hard to say a lot about them. They're a big wild card, so I kind of probably have them finishing 4th. But yeah,
We'll call them the Oakland Raiders.
yeah.
Oakland Raiders. They're gonna show up like the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
So I agree 100% with. I have the same order as well, and I'm just going to talk about the top and the bottom. Top, I think it's very naive to pick against the Chiefs, seeing what Mahomes can do every single year. Last year would be the year that you would pick against them because they lost Tyreek Hill. But again, what Nick said, they wound up going to the Super Bowl. Just insane. Not just going to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then I got the Raiders in the basement. I think they're going to be a train wreck this year. I think they're going to fire Josh McDaniels. The only problem is, didn't they sign him to like some crazy deal?
I believe so.
He's gonna get paid the way was it Matt Rule still gets paid like
Yeah,
a
for the
lot.
Panthers.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
getting
That's
800
crazy.
grand a month.
You think these owners will figure it out because
Yeah.
I think I just saw something where Chandler Jones is pretty upset.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs was upset. Devontae Adams is upset. When your whole team is not happy, that's not good. That's not a good recipe for success. And then Jimmy G, he's got a great record as a quarterback. He's a game manager, but I don't think that's going to save him. I think they're in trouble. So,
Yeah.
And then the two in the middle, we'll just leave it at that. So. All right, the final one is the AFC East. In my opinion, I think this is the toughest division in football. I think it's just going to be a straight-up battle each and every week, so I'm excited about this. For me, the order is going to be the Bills. Just like the Chiefs, I can't put Josh Allen lower than any other team because I think he's right there with Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes is better. He's proven it by winning Super Bowls, and Josh Allen can't. Number 2, this is a surprise, but I got the Miami Dolphins. The reason why I got the Dolphins is 2 things. I think Tua finally figures out how to stay healthy. He might miss like 1 or 2 games, but he just can't have scrambled egg brains anymore. So I think I know that's kind of messed up, but I think the Dolphins. I got me cracking up. I think the Dolphins are going to finish number 2. I think they picked up Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator.
I believe so. Yeah.
And their defense is very good. People don't understand how good the Dolphins' defense is, and then obviously adding Vic is going to help out as well. Number 3, I got the Jets. There's a lot of hype with the Jets, but their offensive line is not that good. And then Aaron Rodgers, you just don't know if he cares about football anymore. My man's head is in outer space. But he is Aaron Rodgers. So if he seems excited and he seems happy, so if that's true and he comes out and he balls out like he normally does, then they could obviously flip with the Dolphins. And then in the basement, I got the Patriots. I think they do get better than last year. I don't know what they were doing last year. I don't even think they had an offensive coordinator. It was just a mess. So it looks like they're actually trying to compete this year, but we'll see what happens. I still don't think it's enough to compete with the 3 teams above them. So, Nick, what do you got?
First pick, I would say the Bills because, yeah, they're just a great team all around. They have a great defense, and then they have Josh Allen. They have those weapons.
Yeah.
And plus, they play all the teams really good. The one team that I do think can give them a run, and we've seen this last year, is the Jets. And the reason being is because last year when the Bills played the Jets, and this is with Zach Wilson, mind you, the Jets actually beat the Bills one of the games.
Wow.
They split.
So did the Dolphins.
So did the Dolphins. Yeah, they split. So it's like, I definitely think, while I think the Bills are going to win, I don't think they're going to win easily. I think it's going to be where it's going to be such a harsh battle.
Yeah.
Like 10 wins or 11 wins, because like they'll probably go 3-3 in the division. Wow. Probably that's how insane the division is. But for now, I would give it to the Bills. The second, I would give it to the Jets, and the reason being is because they have all the pieces. They have all the pieces, and they got Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people forget, but he was a back-to-back MVP before last year. Yeah. So, like,
and a three-time MVP, right?
Four-time, yeah. And then he won back-to-back. Yeah. So now that he has all the pieces together, it's like, I understand, like, their offensive line is not the best, but Joe Burrow also didn't have an offensive line, and he went to the Super Bowl and almost won it.
What's the difference, then?
The difference?
Yeah.
That no offensive line?
Yeah. What's the difference between the two?
Rodgers the Hall of Famer.
Rodgers.
It's true. You hate Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. But no, the biggest difference, in my opinion, is Joe Burrow is what, 25, 26?
25, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old.
That
man gets a hit behind that line is not going to be exciting. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, like their offensive line is questionable, but we'll see what he does with the pieces he has around him. He has Garrett Wilson, who that guy's becoming a star, and he was offensive rookie of the year last year. And then on top of that, they have the defensive rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner, along with their insane defense. And I think they signed
run game.
Yeah, and run game. Yeah. They just added Dalvin Cook along to go with Breece Hall, who they don't want to rush back for obvious reasons. Yep. He's the running back of the future. And then, so third, I would say Miami. Because, like, we'll see if Tua can stay healthy. I hope he does, because he's a great quarterback when he is. Other than that, I think they just got Jalen Ramsey, if I'm not mistaken.
Miami,
yeah, they got Miami, yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah, that helps. And then you have Tyreek Hill on there. Like, that was the best duo last year. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
I agree.
And Tyreek Hill says he wants to go for over 2,000 yards this year. So that's motivation right there, where awesome. Like he wants to like go over 2,000. So I could definitely see the Dolphins breaking the mold there. Fourth, I give it to the Pats, but I don't think they're going to be bad. I actually think they're going to be good. Yeah. And the reason being is because, it's just a stacked division. The reason why I think the Patriots are going to be better is because they just got Bill O'Brien as their OC. Yeah. I think when he was with the Pats, when he was an OC, with Brady, they were amazing. Yeah. So I definitely think he's going to change that environment on the offense, and I think Mac Jones will have a better year. 100%. Because if he doesn't, Bill Belichick's not going to be afraid to cut the cord with them, because I definitely think if Bill Belichick doesn't do good this year, which I think he will, but let's say if he doesn't, I think Robert Kraft's going to be like, okay, it's time to move on.
I agree. I think Bill Belichick's future, which is crazy to think of because he's been with them for what, 20-something years?
Almost 25.
Unbelievable. So, Matt, what do you got for this division?
Yeah, same order. Actually, no, so a little slightly different, actually. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think the Jets and the Bills are both making the playoffs. Yeah. I'll put the Jets at the top of the division. I think Rodgers. I think Rodgers is going to ball out this year. I'm personally a big Rodgers fan. I think he's probably the most talented quarterback ever. You could start to make an argument for Mahomes at some point, but giving Rodgers a good defense all these years where like they haven't really done much in the playoffs. It seems like his defense has given up a lot of points, and he hasn't quite always had the support. I think that could help them out. You know, I know he's probably on the decline. He's maybe not in MVP form. He definitely didn't look like it last year. But pairing Rodgers with like Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, you have Garrett Wilson. You have some pretty good weapons on offense. You know, he's got some veteran receivers from the Packers as well. He just brought up like Cobb, Lazard, all them.
Pulled a Deion Sanders.
But no, I mean, yeah, the Jets defense too. Really good corners. They signed Quentin Williams to a big deal. I think they're going to shock some people. So I got the Jets in that division, but I kind of see it. I don't know if they play in week 17 or not, or I guess it'll be week 18.
Yeah. They play Monday night. So.
Is it? Yeah. So if it's the last weekend of the year, I could see this division coming down to that last week of the season. Yeah. Just that sort of thing. I think that's how competitive it is. The Bills, it just doesn't seem like they've done too much, like roster wise over the years. It kind of seems like it's the same pieces, still kind of there. You know, not exactly the same, but for the most part, all the main guys are still kind of there. Yep. And they haven't really gotten much better. You know, you start off with the 1 year, they were amazing out of nowhere, and then they lose that heartbreaker in overtime to the Chiefs. And You see the picture of Stephon Diggs, like, hey, we'll be back, and then they get destroyed the next year, and then they lose again the year after to the Bengals in the snow. So I don't know. The Bills, it's hard to trust them right now. Diggs supposedly is disgruntled as well. I don't know if that combo would ever break up. Hopefully not, but you never know what goes on behind closed doors. But they're still a great team. I still have them in the playoffs, but I have the Bills at second. Dolphins, Ramsey and Xavier Howard at corner. That's probably the best duo in the NFL, honestly, at corner. Some pretty good pieces. Javon Holland at safety. On offense, they have a lot of explosive players, but can they put it together is really the only question. They could finish with a winning record as well. I just don't think they're quite as good as the other two teams. And then the Patriots, same thing. They've been on the decline. Probably won't. I don't think they're going to only win like 3 games this year or something, but I see them winning like maybe 6 or 7 at most.
Is Bill gone?
I don't know. I think their defense will still be fine. Maybe 1 more year, but I guess I would be shocked if he was going up to
get fired.
Yeah.
So you got Patriots on the bottom?
Yeah, because it's just a business ultimately. So if you're not winning, if you're not doing your job, then it doesn't matter what your legacy is. At some point you got to go.
Yeah,
I like it. So I actually think 3 teams from the AFC East are going to make the playoffs, kind of like the NFC East last year with the Eagles, Giants, and Cowboys. That division is just stacked. I think those teams are going to just destroy each other when they play each other, but I think they're going to be destroying other teams when they play outside of their division. So, guys, that's our picks. I hope you enjoyed them. We're going to be back hopefully once a week. Some things need to happen for that to happen, but pray for that if you can. But before we close this video, just make sure you guys like, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed our NFL picks. We're pretty good at it too. And listen, I'm not going to just say it. Make sure you check out the old videos that should be popping up now. A playlist should be popping up. Check them out. I think you'll be impressed. ESPN's got to move to the side. And what's the other ones? Barstool Sports. That can move to the side too. So, God bless y'all. Get you on the next video.